Hey folks, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. This is going out to Till, who, if you know my channel, he sent me a lot of great things for my that I did on packaging for, and including this shirt. Now, you don't be seeing a bunch of reviews, so I hope you guys enjoy, especially Till if he's watching. Thank you once again. And first off, it is this film, which is called A Better Way to Die. Now, you have Lou Diamond Phillips, Andre Brower, Natasha Henstridge, Joel Pantoliano's in this. But really, it stars this guy named Scott Wiper. And we do have inside here as well. Now, Scott Wiper, looking this guy up, I went, uh-oh. Because this guy would go on to... He wrote, directs, and stars in this movie. He would go on to direct, and he helped work on the script for The Condemned. The really fucking shitty ass film with Stone Cold Steve Austin, where it tried to be like The Running Man or whatever you else you want to call it, and failed because it tried to be an action film. It had shitty, horribly edited, very quick cuts in his action scenes, so you didn't know what was going on. And then they try to have this message of, who are you to watch this violence? And I'm like, I'm watching an action film. Stop telling me to not watch action films in your action film, dumbass script. I didn't like The Condemned at all. And then also this guy went on to do, he recently did a film, The Marine 3. How the hell that got 3 movies? But The Marine 3 Homefront was some guy called The Miz from WWE, I guess. He wrote and directed that film as well. I mean, I haven't seen The Marine 3. I will say this is better than The Condemned. But at the end of the day, this is sort of a so-so on forgettable type of film. A Better Way to Die. I mean, the movie is not much. A 5.5 on IMDb. I would put it lower than that. I mean, there are better films I've seen that get lower ratings than that. It's not the worst action film I've ever seen. I'm not saying that. It's not incredibly shitty. I'm not saying that. But it's just sort of so-so. It has some good points to it, but it's just sort of there. Uh, Basically, Scott Wiper is this guy. He's a cop in Chicago named Boomer. I'm like, the last time I heard someone called Boomer was Boomer Hayes and Take Your Beverly Hills, and that's a much better action movie than this. But this guy's named Boomer, and he has sort of an accent. I don't know what kind of accent. I guess, Chicago, or I don't know what kind of accent he has. But he's nervous, and these other cops like, hey, you nervous? No, I'm not nervous. No, I am nervous. And this guy's like teach him how to talk to these guys, and don't look them in the eye, and learn cuss. Come on, cuss. Say cocksucker. Say motherfucker. Say this and that. They're talking. All of a sudden, the deal goes wrong, and you have a firefight. Decent firefight. I will say, decent little firefight. I mean, the action isn't great, but weirdly enough, I think it's handled a bit better here than it is in The Condemned. Weirdly enough. But, I mean, there's still other moments where it's just way too shaky, which I'll get to. But the opening fight is decent. Nothing wrong about nothing. I haven't seen, like, PM Entertainment stuff or anything, but it's decent. His fellow cop gets killed during it, or before the firefight especially breaks up. And this other cop kills some guys, and our lead chases this guy down, and this cop kills the criminal in cold blood, and that's where you get the idea that this guy quits being a cop, is going to go see his girlfriend, played by Natasha Henstridge, who's not in the film too much. I mean, if I said 10 minutes, I'd be pushing it. She's not in the film too much. Lou Diamond Phillips is this FBI agent who's looking for this other agent that we see at the beginning of the film as well, who has some info in this file, which is actually in this microchip, to he was supposed to have this meeting. He got shot at. The guy disappeared, and Lou Diamond Phillips and the FBI are looking for these guys. And I'm sorry, at the end they try to pull this. Oh, look, Lou Diamond Phillips is really a bad guy, but you can see it coming a mile away that Lou Diamond Phillips. I'm like, okay, let me guess, he's the bad guy, right? Yep. I mean, you just tell. It's not really surprised at all. But you don't find this out until the end. So again, pretty much this guy Boomer. I mean, Sky Wiper. He's not horrible, but he's not great either. He's definitely not. He's not a martial artist. He's not much of a fighter. The fights aren't much at all. Shooting wise, he misses a lot. It's not like a body count movie either. It's not like the good guy kicking ass, taking names. It's nothing like that. I mean, Sky Wiper, he's not the worst actor I've seen, but he's not really the best, and I can see why he didn't really go on to much of an acting career. So I know it sounds harsh, but it just like there's other films, for example, I'm gonna be talking about Sabotage with Mark Dacascos, much better. Or even this film, Future Sport, I like Dean Cain better than this guy. I mean, this guy's there. I just say he's there. I don't think he was terrible, but he's just there. But as he's going off, to see his girlfriend, Natasha Henstridge, who he wants to propose to, he gets there's this vehicle on the road. He gets out, he gets knocked out, and then he gets woken up by Joel Pantoliano, which he's in the film for maybe 5 minutes at most, which is too bad because he's actually a pretty interesting character. He's a guy who he only has one arm. His nickname is Flash. He takes him to his vehicle. He has this card. He says, "I find lost shit," and it's actually on his card. He finds lost shit. Uh, and like this guy, our lead guy, has this tendency of when this timer breaks out, oh, it's lunchtime, it's breakfast time. And Joe Pentio looks at it, oh, yes, it is. And he has all this like food and stuff right here in the middle of his vehicle. So then Joey Pants, as some people call him, Joe Pantoliano, who was in the Goonies. He was in the first Matrix film. He's been in a lot of stuff. Daredevil. He was fun. It's sad to say he was only in for a couple minutes. Because then you have Andre Brower and this other folks shoot at the vehicle. Vehicle swerves. They get Andre Brower gets Joey Pantoliano and this lead guy, Scott Wiper, to the ground. Some other guys are torturing Joe Pantoliano, but then Andre Brower puts him out of his misery. Is about ready to kill Scott Wiper, but his gun's jammed. And this other guy's talking about karma, and this guy throws, "Oh, Merry Christmas," and just knocks Scott Wiper out. Uh, then this guy wakes up. This guy is having the worst day one can have because he wakes up, he's tied up by this girl, and this girl's looking for her former husband, who's the agent that we saw at the beginning, is missing. People are looking for. Pretty much, this girl wants this guy because I guess his voice sounds similar to her husband to make this one phone call. He does, and then some other folks come in and they think he's that guy. He thinks he's the guy they're looking for, the aging guy, and he's like, "No, I'm not." Then Andre Brower comes out and they shoot at him, and the fucking Sky Wiper shoots and kills Andre Brower's buddy, and so Andre Brower wants revenge. Uh, Lead gets out of there. He gets to his girlfriend, Natasha Henstridge. He's like, she knows he's going to propose to her. You have a little make-out session, nothing much. He's going to go out the next day, get some lunch. And you have another little decent scene where there's a little shootout in the supermarket. But, nothing to run home about. It's decent. Shoots one guy in the arm, shoots one guy in the leg. He's running, and they're shooting against not the cooler. Well, I guess you say the coolers where they put like the sodas and stuff at a supermarket. I mean, nothing much to it. I mean, I'm sort of just being vague here because it's a forgettable film at the end of the day. You've seen this kind of film done before or since. I mean, I just say the good things about it is the story at times is pretty decent. Andre Brower, he's having fun with his role. He's having a little fun with his role. He's a guy who is you just say a hired hit guy, but he has a little bit of a moral system, and he's having fun with his role. You can tell. And Joe Pantoliano, when he's there, Lieutenant Phillips is pretty much here for a paycheck. He has really nothing to do, really. Because after that, pretty much there's a shootout at the supermarket. He shoots one guy in the head, but you just see the guy on the ground. You don't see the bullet go through. You just see the guy shooting get out, and then it cuts away, and there's the guy dead on the ground with a bullet in his head. And then Andre Brower tries to kill him and puts the Andre Brower his head through a wall, and because Andre Brower knocked him out before, he decides to do the same thing, says the same line like "Merry Christmas" and "Merry Christmas, asshole." You know, now we're even because he didn't kill him before. Turns around, shoots the sheriff accidentally, but the sheriff was a bad guy anyway, so it didn't matter. He runs, and you find Natasha Henstridge has been killed. So he gets out of there. He hides in this little shack. This asshole has a gun on him. The cops shoot the shit up the shack, kill the guy. Our lead guy has to go in this latrine while the shack blows up, and he comes out pretty much covered in shit. Lo and behold, he gets knocked out. This old couple bring him in. Well, at least to know this old woman gives him this Bible, which he opens up, and there's like a note and a gun saying "run." He gets out of there. Now that Natasha Henstridge is dead, he wants revenge. He gets some info, but he's caught by the FBI and Lieutenant Phillips, and our lead guy says, "Oh, you want this guy, this agent you're looking for? They think I'm him. You guys follow me." And so that happens. It ends in this barn. Well, it doesn't end at the barn. They go to this barn. Uh, and of course, you find out Lieutenant Phillips is a bad guy, of course. He kills some of his own agents. He gets in there. Um, they're torturing the lead guy, and Andre Brower says, "Wait a minute, this isn't right, this and that." They shoot Andre Brower, but he still lives because he gets out of there. They accidentally set the fucking barn on fire. Skywiper has this shitty fight with this guy who killed his girlfriend, Natasha Henstridge, which is very shaky. It's very like, I'm like, okay, yep, that's the director of The Condemned. Very shaky, shitty fist fight. And pretty much it just amounts to they're in the mud or pig shit or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And the lead guy's getting his ass kicked, and he gets a couple punches in and throws this guy into this thing that impales him. And there's really nothing to it because the camera's shaking all over and there's nothing to it. So the barn fucking burns down. And Andrew Brower, he's having fun with his role. The store's decent. The guy is not the most terrible, I'm not going to say that, as the lead. He has a nice moment with Andre Brower where they pull guns on each other. And then, okay, they drop him and they pull another gun on each other. And Andre Brower's like, "Hey, you killed my friend." And the guy goes, "Well, he tried to kill me. Okay, I was defending myself. It wasn't someone who was in bed, asleep, talking about." And Andre Brower's like, "I had nothing to do with that." And then Andre Brower does this. And the guy's like, "What the fuck is that?" He says, "It's peace, man. It's peace." Because it was something that he had done with his buddy who the lead killed, defending himself. And I like that little moment. It's actually this little moment here on the back of the DVD. And pretty much the lead guy goes in because they have this girl, which is the agents. They find the agent dead there, and they couldn't find the file, so they thought the lead had, and that's why they were torturing him. But the lead guy does find it. It was stuck to the guy's shoe or something, hidden in his shoe or something, and makes a deal with Lieutenant Phillips to meet here so you can get the girl. Andre Brower, you think, leaves him, but then he's actually there with a sniper rifle helping him out. And the lead guy kills Lieutenant Phillips, shoots him in the head, and stands there because I guess he's ready to die, be with Natasha Henstridge. But Andre Brower Instead, shoots all the bad guys, and he sort of do this again. And then the girl sort of hugs him to thank him, and end the movie. I know I'm being very vague, just going through this quick, because really this film is not much to it. I mean, Andre Braugher I liked. I kind of wish he was the lead. Uh, the action is really not much. I mean, it's not it's not the worst action film I've seen. I'm not saying that. It's just I think it's a forgettable action film. I think because I've seen a lot of PM Entertainment films that Executive Target, T Force, seeing films like that, I think they're much better than this. Scott Wiper, I don't think he's that much. This is a bit better than The Condemned, but this really isn't much. I mean, Natasha Henstridge, she's only there to be the token girlfriend who dies. Lieutenant Phillips, he's there for, I don't know, 10 minutes total, just randomly, at the FBI agent, hey, have we found this guy yet? And, oh, he's the bad guy, we already know it. Andre Braugher, to me, is the more interesting character, and I almost wish he was the lead of the movie, that we were following his story. Or Joe Pantoliano, he's in it for like 5 minutes. Like, those were the two more interesting characters. It's just the lead guy was not that interesting of a character, and the actor's just so-so. He's not really a badass either. He doesn't know martial arts or fights. He's not really good in the fights. Shooting-wise, he doesn't really kill much of the bad guys. And uh, in a way, Andre Braugher in that one scene killed more than this lead guy did. It's really a forgettable film. At the end of the day, it's a forgettable film. Not much to it. I mean, I think Andre Braugher is having fun with his role, and he's trying his best. But A Better Way to Die, it's just, there's so many other action films. I mean, Drive with Mark Dacascos, and hell, I would say even these films over here, which I'll talk about in a bit, are better action films. Just this one, it's hard to review a film that's a forgettable film. It's just there. It's not terrible. It's not awful. It's just forgettable and, so-so at best. It's there. But hey, if people like it, that's fine. Me, I'm just sort of there. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care, and stay tuned for another review.